Right, let's talk about China. Specifically, let's talk about a recent event that had all the subtlety of a goat being fired out of a cannon. I'm talking about a massive top-level military purge. Picture this. One day, you're a top general in charge of China's entire nuclear arsenal, and the next, you're just gone. Vanished. It's like being unfriended by your boss on Facebook. Except the boss is an authoritarian state, and instead of blocking you, they might just make you disappear. This is the real hardcore, don't let the door hit you on the way to a secret detention facility kind of shakeup. The highest profile people to get the boot were from the Rocket Force. Rocket Force sounds like an 80s cartoon, but it's the elite branch of the PLA that handles nuclear and conventional missiles. Commander Li Yuchao, Deputy Liu Guangbin, other senior figures. They stopped appearing in public, names scrubbed from reports. The government offered the kind of vague explanation you give when your dog eats your homework. They were handpicked by Xi Jinping himself. It's like firing the head of the Secret Service you just hired last year. It doesn't exactly scream everything is fine. This kind of disappearing act is rare. Normally there's a loud corruption expose. Think solid gold Lamborghini headlines. This time, crickets. Just silence, followed by the quiet announcement of their replacements. The new guys, by the way, came from the Navy and the Air Force. Not from within the Rocket Force itself. That's like hiring a sea captain to run your airline. It strongly suggests Xi Jinping has lost trust, believing it's rotten from the inside out. It's a move that screams panic and a deep-seated fear that something is fundamentally broken. So why should you care? Well, when the leader of a global superpower starts firing the guys who hold the nuclear football, or in this case, the nuclear dim sum basket, it's a bit concerning. It raises questions about stability, loyalty, and competence within one of the world's most powerful military forces. Are the missiles not working? Did someone sell secrets? Was there a secret plan to redecorate the launch silos with tacky wallpaper? The lack of information is, frankly, the scariest part. It's a giant blinking red light on the dashboard of global geopolitics, and right now, nobody seems to know what it means, which is never, ever a good thing. So why did Xi Jinping decide to play a real-life version of the weakest link with his top military brass? The official, and frankly least believable reason is the classic go-to excuse for any authoritarian regime: corruption. Yes, according to the state, these generals, who were entrusted with the nation's most powerful weapons, were supposedly busy lining their own pockets. While corruption is definitely a massive problem in China, and let's be honest, it's a problem everywhere from Beijing to Washington, using it as the sole explanation here feels a bit thin. It's like blaming a plane crash on a faulty coffee maker in the galley. It might be a problem, but it's probably not the problem. The more likely, and far more worrying theory, is that this goes way beyond a few dodgy procurement deals. Whispers from intelligence circles suggest the purge might be about something much more serious: the actual combat readiness of the Rocket Force. There are rumors that American intelligence has penetrated the force so deeply that they know exactly where China's missiles are, what they can do, and how to disable them. If that's true, it means China's big, scary nuclear deterrent is about as threatening as a wet firecracker. For Xi, who has staked his entire legacy on building a world-class military capable of taking on the United States, that's not just an embarrassment, it's a catastrophic failure. Another angle is the classic fear of disloyalty. Xi Jinping has consolidated more power than any Chinese leader since Mao Zedong, and when you're perched that high up, you get a little paranoid about anyone who might want to give your chair a little wobble. He demands absolute, unquestioning loyalty. The fact that these generals were his own appointees who still ended up on the chopping block suggests he sensed some wavering. Perhaps they questioned his aggressive timelines for, say, invading Taiwan. Or maybe they were just part of a faction that Xi felt was becoming too powerful. In a system where power is everything, even the perception of a threat is enough to get you erased from the company photo. Ultimately, this purge sends a chilling message to everyone else in the system: no one is safe. It tells every official, from the lowest bureaucrat to the highest-ranking general, that their career, and maybe their freedom, depends entirely on Xi's personal approval. This isn't about good governance, it's about control. It's a brutal display of power designed to ensure that when Xi gives an order, any order, nobody will even think about questioning it. The side effect, of course, is that it creates an environment of fear and paranoia, which, historically speaking, isn't the best recipe for effective military decision-making. Just ask anyone who worked for Stalin. Now let's pivot to something that sounds incredibly boring, but is actually incredibly important. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO. On the surface, the SCO sounds like a regional subcommittee meeting you'd invent an excuse to get out of. China, Russia, India, Pakistan, Central Asian countries ending in STAN, formed in 2001, supposed to be about fighting terrorism and managing border disputes, the kind of geopolitical housekeeping that makes everyone's eyes glaze. For years, a sleepy little club. Leaders meet, take a nice photo, agree to cooperate on things they'd probably cooperate on anyway. But recently, China injected the SCO with a massive dose of steroids. Under Xi Jinping, Beijing is trying to turn it into a major political and military bloc, one that's explicitly anti-Western. NATO, Western democracies, led by the United States. China wants the SCO to be a club for everyone else, led by China, a platform for countries tired of being told what to do by Washington. Hey, let's make our own rules, it'll be great, we'll have blackjack and economic dependency. China flexes diplomatic muscles inside the SCO without the United States in the room. This is China's home turf. Massive joint military drills under the SCO banner, a chance to show off their latest tanks and their latest jets. They also use the SCO to push economic projects like the Belt and Road Initiative, roping countries into infrastructure deals, often leading to massive debt and dependency on Beijing. Like a friend helping you move, replacing your furniture and charging rent. The most telling part, who's joining the party? Iran just became a full member. Yes, that Iran. Belarus is on the fast track to join. Not a club built on democracy or human rights, more like a league of authoritarian and quasi-authoritarian states, united by suspicion of the United States. For China, the SCO is a vehicle to challenge the US-led global order, a world friendlier to autocrats and less friendly to American influence. A slow-motion power grab, one summit at a time. China isn't just attending SCO meetings anymore, it's running them. Beijing is making big, splashy moves to cement its leadership and turn the organization into a direct extension of its foreign policy. A perfect example, China uses the SCO to promote its own vision of global security. Forget all that messy talk about human rights and international law. China is pushing the Global Security Initiative, a world order of non-interference in internal affairs. That sounds reasonable until you realize internal affairs is code for allowing abuses against the Uyghurs. So what does all this, the military purges, the diplomatic maneuvering mean for China's neighbors in Asia? Well, imagine you live in a quiet neighborhood, and one day your biggest, richest neighbor starts firing his security guards, holding loud meetings in his backyard with some shady characters, and, buying a bunch of scary-looking robot dogs for his lawn. You'd probably be a little on edge, right? That's exactly how countries like the Philippines, Vietnam, and Japan are feeling right now. They are watching China's aggressive transformation and wondering what it means for their own security and sovereignty. China's new strategy in Asia is a classic carrot-and-stick approach, but on a massive geopolitical scale. The carrot is economic investment. Through its Belt and Road Initiative, China offers to build ports, railways, and power plants for its neighbors. This sounds great for developing nations that need infrastructure. But the carrot often comes with strings attached. Financed by Chinese loans, countries can struggle to repay and give Beijing leverage. Just look at Sri Lanka, a strategic port handed over for 99 years after debt default. It's less partnership, more geopolitical layaway. Then there's the stick, and it's a very big stick. China's military is growing at a terrifying pace. Beijing is increasingly assertive in territorial disputes, especially the South China Sea. It builds artificial islands, outfits them with missile launchers, builds airstrips, then claims the surrounding waters, ignoring international law. Chinese Coast Guard vessels, maritime militias, fishing boats with military crews, routinely harass ships, using water cannons and ramming tactics to enforce Beijing's claims. This is gunboat diplomacy for the 21st century. Fish? China's freaky new drone subs. Just when you thought things couldn't get any more complicated, let's add some futuristic, terrifying technology to the mix. China has been quietly developing a fleet of advanced drone submarines, and no, I'm not talking about the little underwater camera you bought on Amazon to find your lost car keys in a lake. I'm talking about large, autonomous, unmanned underwater vehicles, or UUVs, that can operate for months at a time without a human crew. These are sophisticated AI-powered machines designed for espionage, surveillance, potentially warfare. Think of them as silent underwater predators that never need to sleep, eat, or surface for air. These drone submarines, some reportedly modeled after the shape of a manta ray, other marine life, are a technological leap forward. They are packed with sensors to map the seabed, listen for enemy submarines, monitor underwater communication cables. The fact that they are unmanned is a huge advantage. You can send them on long, dangerous missions deep into enemy territory without risking the lives of sailors. If one gets lost or captured, it's a setback, but it's not a national tragedy. This allows China to be far more aggressive and take risks it wouldn't with a crude submarine. It's the military equivalent of playing a video game with infinite extra lives. So what are these things for? Their primary mission for now is likely intelligence gathering.